Hello, I'm Debbie Chesney, the Executive Director of Homes of Love. In the last few weeks, I've been asked several times just concerning how our homes for at-risk and orphan children are getting through this pandemic that has gripped the world. And I've had a hard time actually putting into words what I'm watching. But I heard an analogy this week that I think really well describes what I'm seeing. And it's as if the whole world is coming together and we're in the same storm at the same time. But the truth is, we're on different boats. At Homes of Love right now, we find ourselves in a very unique situation. We're trying to figure out how to navigate this storm in 4 different countries, whether that be in our home office here in Knoxville, Tennessee, or whether our homes in Cambodia, Vietnam, or Zimbabwe. There's a lot of commonalities when we go through the same storm, but at the same time, there's unique differences in each situation. In Cambodia, our parents, every one of them is in a high-risk category, and that worries us when there's such a lack of health care in that country. There's no social distancing, there's no personal space. Everything is very dense in the areas where our children and our families live in Cambodia. You have to go to the market every day. Our homes don't have refrigerators. That means being with people that you don't know in crowded situations every day. And many of our parents never had the privilege of going to school. They don't have the ability to homeschool their children. And the majority of our children are already children at risk. In Vietnam, the boat that our parents and our families find themselves on is very different than Cambodia. The schools have been closed since January, and there's no really hope of them opening again this year. Our parents have tried to manage school, physical activity for children, and food prep. They're tired. I'm sure many of you moms can identify with this. Our moms feel like all they do is cook and clean and cook and clean and cook and clean. They're weary of what's going on in their country. And most of our Homes of Love young adults that had good jobs don't have those jobs anymore. They've gone back to their homes of love or their birth villages, but they've found jobs. They've found ways to sustain their life. In our homes in Zimbabwe, the boat, once again, is a very different boat. The country of Zimbabwe is already in an economic crisis. 95% of the population is out of a job right now. There's no food, but there's no money even if they could buy the food. The water reserves have dried up, which leads to bad sanitation and no water for even cooking, much less washing your hands. Sometimes the uniqueness of the different situations, the different boats that our homes are in, including the United States, can seem a little bit overwhelming. But in the middle of this, there's sweet encouragement too. Over this last weekend, I saw pictures of our children in Vietnam, and they had united in the different cities through their church. And I watched them as they were on the streets, and it wasn't just the parents, it was our children. And they were going out into their communities, and they were handing out masks that could help other people that didn't have the opportunity to have face masks. And I watched them as they handed out huge bags of rice that would help the people in their community to be able to sustain life when they've lost their jobs and they don't really know where the next meal is going to come from. I've watched in one of our homes as they had sweet communion together last Sunday. And one of our little children, one of our youngest, Homes of Love little boys, was the one that was passing the bread. And I saw them gather together to take communion and break bread together as they sang, "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." I get a bird's eye view of what's going on in the different countries we serve. We're most definitely in the same storm. There's no doubt about that. There's so much that we're going through together. But we are on different boats. But what I'm seeing is that we trust the same God. And that's where we all can find our rest. And that's what I'm grateful for as we walk through this together. I want to thank you for partnering with us, for helping us to walk through these days and helping as we navigate this storm. We count you as a blessing and we're thankful for you.